Hello, I hope I'm live. Yes, I am. And I'm very sorry. I just have to let you know I'm in a hotel room and we have a terrible connection. So I have to keep moving around to see if I can do this. So bear with me. And I already had to switch from my iPad to the phone because our farm is out of power and it's really been awful. I might just have to hold my phone. So sorry, bear with me. We have generators keeping our meat frozen and the milk cold, but our house is freezing and dark and no food. So we went to a hotel room. Here we are. But the show must go on. And we've been doing this 5-day challenge all week. And today is day 5, which was supposed to be yesterday, but we didn't even have phone service yesterday. Our AT&T tower went out, so we couldn't text or call or do anything, which is really amazing how much we depend on cell phones and texting these days. You know, really, like we were lost. I couldn't text any of my employees or anything. But anyway, I want to get on. The show must go on. Today's day 5, and it's Fall in Love with Your Email Newsletter. So all week we've been talking about how to fall in love with your farm business through marketing, which is what the Profitable Farm is all about. And so let me start back at day 1, which was fall in love with your customers. We talked all about your ideal customer. So every day this week, everything I talk about builds on each other. And oh my gosh, there's someone knocking on my hotel room door. So this is nuts, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. But every day this week builds on each other. So when we get to the final day today, the email newsletter, you pull in everything we talked about all week. So go back to day 1, and if you haven't, find out all about your ideal customer, because your email newsletter must be written to your ideal customer to be effective. So, and we talked a lot about that and how that would look like in an email on that day 1. So be sure to watch that. Let me start by talking about the types of farm newsletters I often get in my inbox that could, with a little work, could be so much more effective. So I'm trying to get in my iPad here because everything is off in this hotel room. So there's one I get about once a month, and it's from a local farm. And first of all, I did not even sign up for their newsletter. They added me to their list, which is unethical and illegal. You're supposed to do that yourself. So don't be going and signing people up to your email newsletter. Without their permission, you know, there are lots of ways we talk about in our course how to do that to get people on there. But so they added me to their list, which means I get these emails once a month. And there's several things that if they fixed them, their newsletter could be so much more effective. First of all, the idea of a newsletter that tells you everything of what's going on the farm is not effective for sales, as effective as when you focus on one thing. So for instance, I get this local farm, and every newsletter has about 4 things in it, and they send it once a month. So from the very start, they would be far more effective if they sent out an email once a week with just one of those things. Because just like back at day 1, when we talked about the ideal customer, when you write to everybody, you're selling, you know, you're talking to nobody. So you define who your ideal customer is and you communicate to them. Well, when you write about everything that's going on the farm, people are not going to take action on anything, or they won't, you know, they'll take 10 or 20 times the action if you only have one subject in there. So this newsletter I just pulled one up to talk about that. The subject is called All in Bloom, and that could be a much more enticing subject, changing it a little bit. And again, these are all things that we coach students through really in depth in our course, learning how, to come up with some really effective subject lines. And they start off by talking about the bees, the honeybees that are coming in, and they have a picture of honeybees. They talk about their honeybee person and some things about how honeybees are affecting the world, which is good information, but there's no call to action to buy honey or anything. And then they talk about a food box that you can sign up for. And then they tell you to sign up for their open house. And then they tell you the flowers are blooming, and they tell you click here if you want to come buy some flowers from us. And then they say click here if you want to sign up your kids to our farm camp. And then they have this post, they say you can meet a member, click here to read about one of our members that we showcase each month. And then the last thing is they're talking about, they show you how to sign up for a conference that is not even at their farm. It's in Portland, a local conference. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 things, 7 topics in their email newsletter, and they aren't going to sell enough of any one of those things to make a sustainable business. So, and I see this every month when their newsletters come through, I just cringe and think, oh, if they're so close, if only they would just tweak a couple little things, they would be selling thousands of dollars of, whether it's the food boxes or thousands of dollars of their flowers, or they would fill up their farm camp. And they shouldn't even be advertising somebody else's conference that they aren't making, connections through or building their email list through. So if they would tweak all those things, it could be so much more effective. And then I wanted to, and again, if you're joining late, I'm in a hotel room because we've been out of power for 2 days and we don't have Wi-Fi or phone service or anything. We have generators running the meat and milk freezers and fridges, but our house is cold and dark. So we're in this hotel room. That's why I'm here. So what I wanted to suggest instead, now that you know what not to do, so don't have a boring subject line. You need something that's going to get people to open the email newsletter, because we all get tons of newsletters. So your title has to be really compelling. And then you want to talk about one topic in the newsletter. So when she sends out a newsletter once a month with 4, 5, or 6 topics, they should be sending out a newsletter once a week with just one of those topics in order to make money. All right? So let's start out. I'm going to tell you the anatomy of a perfect email. And if you want this, we go through, if you want more of this and actual download and all that, that is all in our course that we teach, and we coach you through that. Registration's open till Tuesday. So I'm going to tell you, if you want to take notes, the anatomy of a perfect email is, and I'm reading this off my iPad, so bear with me. Hayden's not here to assist. First of all, you want to have a clear and enticing subject line, and we have exercises to help you figure out how to do that. And you want a personal greeting. So this newsletter I just talked about that I get every month says, "Dear friends." But when you take our free email marketing course that we have on our website, it teaches you how to get it set up on your website to have them opt in, so you get their first name. So the email says, "Dear Julie" or "Dear Tom," instead of "Dear friends," because psychologically, when they see their name there, it connects with them and it builds trust with them. And remember, customers only buy from you when they trust you. So that starts to build trust even if you haven't met them yet. So that personal greeting, clear, enticing subject line. And then you want some headings. So you don't just want an email that's all one paragraph. You want 1 or 2 sentences in each paragraph. So you're going to have many, many little short paragraphs, because that's how people read. And you're going to bold some key sentences in there so it looks interesting. So when they look down, when they scan down your email, they see these bold lines, and that's the important information, because people, when they scan, they tend to focus on those bold ones. So make sure that's where your calls to action are, or your really connecting words are. So use those headings, and then after you've got your clear, enticing subject line, your personal greeting, your headings and bold fonts, then you want one picture or perhaps one video. We do a lot of video marketing, or if you have a picture in there, that would be the place to put the picture. You don't have to do a picture. I don't do a picture in every email, and you don't want more than one. But it is nice to have it right in the middle there, and that can link over to the key blog post or whatever it is you're talking about, buy quarter beef here or whatever. After that, you can have some important details, such as some little bullet points of something, whatever it is you're talking about in there, 3 ways to cook a chicken or whatever. That's going to be right after the picture. And then you want to wrap up your email. So you put a closing in there. And remember, these are 1 or 2 sentences, 3 sentences tops in a paragraph. ideally 1 or 2 sentences per paragraph. So you wrap it up and you tell them, kind of wrap up what you just have been telling them, and then you have your very clear call to action. So there's one call to action. There's not sign up for our farm camp, sign up for our CSA, and come out to the store and buy flowers. That would be 3 calls to action, which means you're diluting your sales, and you're not going to get all the sales you need to be profitable or sustainable. You have one call to action there. So if you're selling beef this month, you want one call to action of click here to buy beef now. And then you have a very warm closing, assign it warmly, sincerely, love, whatever it is that your ideal customer, however your ideal customer wants you to close out that email, that's how you close it. And then, of course, have your name at the bottom because you want it to be from a human. And, if you say like the Rolling Acres Farm team, and that's who it's from, that's not as personal as saying your own personal name. So you want it to be from you. So that's the anatomy of a perfect email. It's not an email that tells them about all the things that have been going on your farm. It's just one subject. So if you have 4 things to tell them, you need to tell them once a week for 4 weeks. I hope this makes sense. It works super well on our farm. It's what makes us, every email brings us $6,000 to $8,000 because we have one. Sorry, my phone rang. And again, I'm in a hotel room. So if you want more of this, if you want coaching on exactly how to do this, please join us for our course that starts next week. We've got a great group of people signed up already. You get lifetime access to this course, and it talks about everything we talked about this week, every day. So we gave you free trainings every day for 20 to 30 minutes, which will take you far, and it gives you a taste into what we teach. And then in the course, we go really super deep, in depth. And I can't tell if there are questions. Let me see, because I'm on okay, I don't see any questions on here. So I know that this information is really helpful and powerful. I used to say, I hope this is helpful, but I get so many emails from people and comments in the Facebook group saying, wow, love today's video. I already put it into action and it's helping with our marketing. So I know this is super helpful. You took notes. Leave comments down below if you have more questions, and would love to see you in the group. Hayden will put the link in there for that in our private course, and that is Farm Marketing from the Heart. And then we will be back in here with another live video Monday. And then Teddy says, what about saying the email is from both of us rather than just one of us? Teddy, yes. So if you're farming, you and your husband are running the farm together, then it most certainly, I don't know your husband's name, but it can be from Teddy and Joe. Love Teddy and Joe or something like that. So if that is your marketing, if that's what you want and that's the relationship they're building with Teddy and Joe, then by all means you can say that. But I wouldn't go beyond that. I wouldn't make it from, 5 people or something like that. But certainly, since so many farms are run by couples sharing the workload, then definitely you can have the 2 names in there. So thanks for asking a great question. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to say goodbye to this lovely hotel room, and hopefully we get our power on someday soon. And I want to give a shout out to Kathy Vimont, who's in this Profitable Farm Facebook group, and she's also taken our course. She's from Missouri, and she has relatives 30 minutes from us, and she called them yesterday to ask them if we needed their generators, could we use them? And actually, it's her father or father-in-law, I can't remember, Kathy. But anyway, it was just so cool that somebody from Missouri is calling somebody local and trying to help us out when we had this, because we had this terrible windstorm that knocked out our power, but her parents still have power and ours is still out. So it's just 30 minutes away makes a big difference in the valley here. But, oh, it's Kathy. She's on here. So Kathy, just a huge shout out. Thank you to you. That was so fun. We got to talk by phone. Yes, it is your dad. That's right. I remember now. So thank you, Kathy. Just so you know, our generators are keeping the meat cold right now. It's just, we don't have one for the house, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to, it's my husband's birthday, so we're planning to go to another hotel tonight anyway. So I'm hoping it'll be back on by Monday. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I know this was helpful. Let me know how this helps you. And hopefully we'll see you in class. It starts next week. Otherwise, we'll be right here every week in The Profitable Farm too. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.